Welcome back to Rockingham Speedway. It is Joey Logano with Billy Leslie right on his back bumper as they've just gotten the green here at Rockingham.
Billy Leslie is able to hang in with Joey right after the restart, and then the more laps we click off, the more Joey Logano is able to pull away.
Matt Carter closing in on the back bumper of Billy Leslie now, as he and Ken Schrader are working well together on the bottom of the racetrack.
We saw Matt running the high side of the racetrack just a few moments ago before that caution flag came out. There's a good view from Kenny Schrader's onboard camera. Now Kenny's going to move up the racetrack. Matt's going to move to the bottom and try to take a look at Billy Leslie.
One where they're not, I've heard said numerous times, and so Ken Schrader tries a different line around the racetrack.
And you notice one thing, they're running in shade in turn 3 and 4, which obviously looks like it allows Logano to run the bottom, and then driving into turn 1 in the sunlight, and it looks like the guys move around from top to bottom a little more.
All the way up to the wall is the 46 of Matt Carter. As the 52, Ken Schrader tries to get by Matt Carter for that third position.
Great battle for second, third, and fourth right there. Billy Leslie has second. Matt Carter, the 46, is in third. Kenny Schrader trying to take it away. Kenny's running fourth right now. Matt Hawkins continues to run fifth.
Riding along with the 46 of Matt Carter.
Look at Kenny Schrader over on the left.
Made the pass. Yep. Gets in front of Matt Carter now, so he takes over third.
Yeah, Kenny said, go ahead, Matt. You follow. You follow Billy Leslie up there in the high side.
We're going to run this low line, the quick route around Rockingham today, or at least right now.
Looks like Schrader's got the low line working for now. He's moving up a little bit.
Now he sets his sights on that 18 of Billy Leslie, trying to take second away.
Yeah, we have to give Johnny Benson a call too. Remember, Johnny Benson came over and practiced this car for Kenny while Kenny was in Richmond.
Billy Leslie goes back to the inside, see if he can get back by Ken Schrader. Kenny runs up a little bit higher on the racetrack, so now Kenny Schrader's going to try to reel in Joey Logano. No one's really had anything for Logano all race today.
Really haven't. Even in qualifying, obviously sat on the pole. Practice, he was very, very quick. So Joey Logano has had this entire weekend go his way, but he's got a guy with, as we've talked about, a tremendous amount of experience at this racetrack and tire management in Kenny Schrader.
15 wins for Ken Schrader in the ARCA RE Series. His most recent came a year ago at Toledo. But again, we mentioned 51 starts in the NASCAR ranks on this racetrack, but no win. We're going to change that today at the Rock. Billy Leslie, I saw a little steam on the overflow there, so maybe a little bit of a heating issue for Billy Leslie in that 18.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. He may be pushing out a little bit of water. Come to pit road, they can pull a little tape off that car.
And that looks like he's cutting some of the guys a break. Maybe they're telling them to fall back a little, just get in some clean air and just ride a little bit. Still not halfway yet, so no need to push the issue this early.
There's a good battle right there. That's the 75 of Clay Rogers and the 4 of Taylor Malsom. That's a battle for the 10th position. Clay had a lot of trouble qualifying. He actually made the top 25, but they had to change the transmission. His clutch was slipping, so they changed the clutch and the transmission. That's a Bob Shack car right there. So obviously they have that car repaired, doing well, running up in the top 10 now.
We've passed the 1/3 point of this race. Again, it's 312 laps, 500 kilometers. There's Austin Dillon in that number 31, right in the middle of all the action. Gabby DiCarlo just in front of him. Taylor Malsom on the outside in that number 4.
And there's John West Townley, the 09, that yellow and red Ford, the Zaxby's Ford out of Robbie Benton's stables.
He's been doing a good job, running in the 13th spot right now, just kind of taking his time. He's one of the few cars on the track. He's been in the middle of racing all day long, doesn't have any damage yet, so he's looking good.
We're going to see him in some truck races on speed. He's going to drive the Zaxby's Ford out of the Roush Fenway stables several races.
That's right, in Mansfield, coming up in a few weeks, he's going to make his debut at Mansfield, Ohio, in the Zaxby's Ford. So that's going to be exciting. He's been doing a good job today. His car looks good. Wow, they're 3 wide in front of him.
Whoa, wow. Patrick Shelter dove down to the bottom of the racetrack. Very close call. There's Taylor Malsom on his outside. John West Townley trying to find the line around this racetrack where he can get by That's 60 of Patrick Shelton.
Yeah, that is a battle for position as well. We saw Patrick Shelton get that Aaron's lucky dog just a few moments ago, and now he's up here battling up in the top 15.
And right now there are 22 cars on the lead lap. Allie Owens in the 12 is 22nd. Field spreading out a bit once again. Take a look back at some of the close calls that have taken place on the racetrack. Look at Patrick Shelton getting by that 79.
Almost up into Taylor Malsom. Did a nice job staying off him and
right down in front of him. That was road rage. I think that might have been road rage right there. Oh, we got problems on the backstretch. Yeah, coming out of the backstretch right here.
Yeah, Michael Phelps, I believe that 45 car.
Here in the 4 may have been involved in this. Taylor Malsom.
There you see right there the damage on the right front corner of that Cunningham Motorsports Dodge.
A lot of damage to the right front. And so our 7th caution of the day has come out from Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina. Let's take another look at what happened.
There's John West Townley. Ooh, a little contact between Patrick Shelton and the 4 of Taylor Malsom.
That was a good job by the 60 and the 09 getting around that. That could have been a little bigger mess. But
Michael Phelps is going to get the worst of the situation. See, the 4 comes up a little bit on Patrick Shelton. They do a nice job, but unfortunately Michael Phelps doesn't look like he had any contact. He may have just locked the brakes up for a moment, slid those rear tires and around. And when we talk about the backstretch being banked here, like it is a lot of places, and if something happens, it's going to take you right to the inside wall.
He'll have to go to work on the 4 of Taylor Malsom. Make sure that there's no tire rub there. He's got a little debris on the inside of that car.
We may be in line for a lot of pit stops. Remember now, lap 50 is when the majority of the field came down pit road. We're now on lap number 113. Obviously not all of these laps have been under green, but nonetheless we may see some wholesale pit stops here.
On the outside, just keep it low.
the pit road is open, and it'll be interested to see if the 28 is going to come down or not.
For now.
I think if the 25 comes down, then it forces his hand. He has to come down.
He peaked, and the 25 of Joey Logano is going to stay on the racetrack. But Ken Schrader decides to bring a few cars with him. Let's go down to Jim Trado.
Guys, when Billy Ludsey comes down pit road into his stall, they're going to actually just change 4 tires. They're concerned about getting more grip in the car, Phil. As you can imagine, the driver said there's no grip. It's loose everywhere. They're going to do 4 tires and gas and take a little tape off the grill. Kenny Schrader came in 5 laps ago or so on the green. I asked his crew chief, Donnie Richardson, I said, how soon can you come? He said, next caution would be great. They're going to just change 4 tires. They're very happy with the setup. No major changes on Schrader's 52. Guys?
You see Kenny Schrader finishing up his pit work on the left side. Our leader, Joey Logano, stayed on the racetrack, as well as the 46 of Matt Carter. So some differing pit strategies.
Onto the wall. Come on. You still got it. You still got it. You're clear.
Kenny Schrader going to make his exit off of pit road.
So Kenny Schrader brings his car off the racetrack. Fast car on the racetrack today has been that 25 of Joey Logano. David Reagan, thank you for joining us up here. I know that you are definitely a spectator of the sport when you're not behind the wheel, so we'll let you actually go watch this one for a while. If you like.
I'm going to sit in the grandstands. Beautiful weather here today in Rockingham, and just enjoy the rest of the race. Certainly it's been exciting so far. 25 looks like he's had the field covered, but you've got some good cars right behind him. It'll be interesting to see how the end of the race falls out.
Hey, you may be watching this race, this ARCA race, but you're going to be racing in a few weeks in Toledo.
Yeah, in a few weeks we're going to take a Ford up there. Gary Rouleau and the Rouleau Brothers race team are preparing a Ford Fusion to go up to Toledo and have some fun. It's all about having fun on the weekends that we're not racing on the Cup side, just to have a good time.
Good deal. Thanks,
Very
David.
good. Appreciate you coming up here and joining us. Good luck in the future. And obviously we'll be keeping our eye out for you when you're running in the ARCA RE/MAX series. 7 cautions have happened at the Rock to this point. We'll be back with more green flag racing after this. Green flag back in the air for the Carolina 500. Rockingham Speedway. Joey Logano, as David Reagan had mentioned, pretty much had the field covered, but now Matt Carter looks to the outside as he restarts this race in second. Right behind him, Justin Allgaier, Patrick Shelton, John West Townley, your top 5.
Differing pit strategies. I think the top 7 cars that time stayed on the racetrack. The 3 car of Jeremy Clements, I think, is the first car that came down pit road.
What's the strategy going on down on pit road for the 25, Wendy?
Yeah, it was a last-minute call by crew chief Billy Venturini. He decided to stay out with Joey Logano as the 18 and the 52 decided to come down pit road and take tires. Now, also on this end of pit road, we had the 28 of Michael Annette, who finally got his 4 fresh tires that he was desperately seeking. His crew chief Joe Lax came back and said the tires looked beautiful after 100 laps on those tires. So looks like it will be good for Logano as the yellow is out.
Yep, caution again. This is number 8, as it looks like the 22 of Ken Butler III got a lot of damage to that race car.
He had some damage from that earlier incident coming off of turn number 2, and then had that flat tire. But a lot more damage to that Aaron's Dream machine for Ken Butler III.
Tough day for Eddie Sharp Racing, as Scott Speed was involved in an accident very early on, around lap 11.
Justin Laughlin.
Laughlin
as well.
Also involved. So a difficult day for Eddie Sharp and his race team. We'll take another look at why that 22 has so much damage.
Looks like he might have got a little bit of a bump from behind. He was in some heavy traffic right there, and he's going to make, again, he's going to make some contact with the inside wall. You spin down the backstretch and you're going to make some contact with the inside wall.
Behind the wall once again for that Toyota. That crew will go to work and see if they can get him back on the racetrack.
No pit stops by the 7 guys that stayed out the last time, Rick.
Yep, 22 cars on the lead lap. And Phil, we're closing in on obviously the halfway points, lap 156. But if these guys are being so conservative, as we see our Aaron's lucky dog Justin Marks getting a lap back, but if these guys are so conservative with their tire usage early on in this race, I'm guessing we're going to have quite a few cars that will still have tires at the end of this race and make for quite a competitive finish.
It really looks like that, and I think that's because of the caution laps, the number of caution laps on these tires. The guys look at green flag laps. They don't look at caution laps, because you're running around here at 45 or 50 miles an hour. You really don't abuse these tires at all. So that's what they're looking at, is green flag laps, and they would love to have a fresh set of tires with about 20 laps to go if the caution were to come out.
John West Townley and Billy Leslie both making their way onto pit road. John West Townley was scored in the 4th spot before he came onto pit road. So a big stop for them. It looks like they're going to do a chassis adjustment and fill it back up with fuel, but no tires for John West Townley.
See Billy Leslie's on pit road. He was on pit road, the caution flag, with just about everybody in the field that pitted other than those first 7 cars, but he may have some, we saw some steam a little bit earlier, so there may be some overheating issues for Billy Leslie.
Again, John West Townley came in and didn't get tires, but they did some chassis adjustments to that race car as he will make his way back out onto the racetrack. Jim Trado, what's going on with the 18?
Yeah, that was the thought, guys. They actually took some tape off the front end, and when during that green flag segment, I ducked my head in the pits and said, guys, what are you guys doing with the tape on the grill? Was it cosmetic or aero? And they said, no, we just thought it was running a little bit hot in traffic, so we want to take some tape off the car just to get it cool down. This is a long race, and they thought about putting tape back on, so that decision might have been made sooner to get that car handling better, because Billy said, as we mentioned, it's loose everywhere, so he's trying to get a better handle on it, so they're playing with the tape on the grill, guys.
I'll tell you, he's got more problems than that, Jim. It looks like they may be going behind the wall.
They're going to push him behind the wall, so obviously either an expired engine because of that overheating or something else mechanical has gone wrong with that race car. Doesn't look like it's been damaged in any way, but he just came to stop on pit road, and then nobody really did anything. They didn't look under the hood or anything.
Yeah, I think it was probably damage from that overheating issue, and probably hurt that engine, unfortunately, for Billy Leslie, who's having such a great run here. He's a former winner in this series. He won last year, 2007 season, but tough break for Billy Leslie.